Now, about the Thatch house. This house is one of the 11 mushroom houses in Charlevoix. And just like Charlevoix, you can see that Patosky is full of activity and there's not a single vacant storefront. There's plenty of gimmicky shops and restaurants for the abundance of tourists that this area sees. Charlevoix and Petoskey are about an hour and a half drive north of Traverse City. Charlevoix and Petoskey are both located off of Lake Michigan in northwestern Michigan. Both are popular tourist destinations during the summer and the fall. This video will show you why that is. Maybe. Well, let's get to it. Shall we? I do start the video just west of Charlevoix. I do drive around the city of Charlevoix in mad circles before making my way to Patosky. I mean, in order to get a true glimpse of a city, town, or place, you have to see it from many different angles, right? If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the three-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Also really quick, as if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoy this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the playlists that are featured on my channel. Videos on other places like Charlevoix and Petoskey can be found on my Tourist Town playlist, my Great Lakes playlist, my Michigan playlist, or on my USA Small Towns playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. Now, finally, after all of that rambling, we are now in the city of Charlevoix. Charlevoix is home to an estimated 2,500 residents, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 3,500. Those stats can be misleading, however, as Charlevoix County as a whole has an estimated population of just over 26,000 residents, which is the highest population count that the county has ever had. The county hasn't necessarily been skyrocketing in growth, but it has been growing nonetheless. The median household income for the county is $53,000 per year, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $162,000. Niche.com ranks the public schools as a B+, so that's good. Economically, I think it goes without saying that the region is largely dependent on tourism. I mean, the top employer for Charlevoix County is the Boyne Mountain Resort, which is a ski resort further east, and it employs 565 workers. What you see here is the waters of Lake Charlevoix. Lake Charlevoix is just one of the many draws to the area. Lake Charlevoix is the third largest inland lake in Michigan with 56 miles of shoreline and over 17,000 acres of surface area. It can be as deep as 122 meters in spots. If it were a sunny day when I had visited, the waters would have appeared to have been more of a crystal blue color. As the video goes on, we'll get to see views from other angles of Lake Charlevoix. On both the left and the right, you can see several nice condos. Past that, you'll see some really nice houses on the other side of a nicely landscaped hedge on the left. I guess I can start talking about some of the earlier days of Charlevoix. Back in 1869, Lake Charlevoix was actually known as Pine Lake. There's a smaller lake called Round Lake that sits between Lake Charlevoix and Lake Michigan. Engineers at the time dug a channel between Lake Michigan and Round Lake, which connected Lake Charlevoix to Lake Michigan. There's actually a drawbridge over that channel, and surprisingly, it wasn't built until the late 1940s. We'll drive over it later in this video. Digging the channel was important at the time, however, as it connected Lake Charlevoix to Lake Michigan. All of northern Michigan in the 1800s thrived on the lumber industry, and Charlevoix was an important port to ship off lumber supplies. In 1876, Charlevoix was declared as a port of entry, and it was also a fueling stop for wood-powered ships on Lake Michigan. Today, Charlevoix is full of things to go do and explore, if you're an outdoorsy person that is. This is more for people who enjoy being outside, whether it's their pontoon boat that they've owned for 20 years but still haven't paid it off, or it's their jet skis, kayaks, canoes, bicycles, fishing rods, hiking shoes, skiing boots, hunting gear, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, you name it. There's a boat that you can take to nearby Beaver Island that offers a great outdoorsy experience. I mentioned earlier the nearby Boyne Mountain Resort. There's also walks on the beach. There's plenty of places to launch your boat. In town, there's plenty of neat shops and restaurants. Basically, if you can't find something to do or enjoy up this way, there's simply something wrong with you. No offense, of course, but it's kinda true. There's stuff for everybody up here. While I was driving past and filming for this video, I saw this football field and thought that this was Charlevoix High School. But no, I was wrong. This is Charlevoix Elementary School, and it has this sweet-looking football field next to it. Charlevoix High School is actually a couple miles further south of town, but I feel pretty safe in guessing that this is where the high school athletic events are held. I mean, they don't build football fields like this for third graders. Oh yes, and on the right is the Thatch House, which is one of the 11 mushroom houses, and I'll get into talking about that in just a second, as first I head down to the Michigan Beach Park, which is where the Charlevoix South Pier light station is located, and this is also where the channel was dug to connect Round Lake and Lake Charlevoix to Lake Michigan. Now, about the Thatch House, this house is one of the 11 mushroom houses in Charlevoix, and they're all within a triangle block right here. The Thatch House is definitely the most iconic one, however. It was built by Earl Young as his home in 1918. Earl Young was an architect that mostly used Michigan resources to craft his designs. The reasons for that is that he believed that his designs should respect his surroundings. Young never meant to make the houses look like mushrooms, but they just kind of ended up looking like them. Sometimes they're referred to as hobbit houses or gnome houses. You can actually book a reservation to stay in a few of the mushroom houses for a weekend, which is pretty cool. You can also book tours to see all of the mushroom houses in Charlevoix if that's something that you would want to do. Oh yes, and here we go again on the congested US 31. It seems like every stretch of 31 in towns up this way are traffic clogged. That's a good thing though for these tourist towns. As come the people, so does the cash. I really wanted to turn left onto 31 back there, but the traffic congestion forced me to improvise a little. And finally, here we are in downtown Charlevoix. As you can see, it's full of activity and there's not a single abandoned storefront, as it's full of gimmicky tourist shops and restaurants. You could see a little bit of the drawbridge in my side window B-roll shot, and here we are driving over it. According to the lovely Wikipedia.com, which is a great source for information despite popular belief, the bridge will open once at the hour and half-hour mark from April through October, mostly for recreational purposes. One of the boats that often comes through here, and possibly the reason for every 30 minutes the drawbridge being open, is that the Beaver Island ferry boat comes through here. I drove through here in October, so maybe with the drawbridge opening once every half hour is the reason for turtle speed traffic. Anyway, now that we're on the other side of the channel, this side is mostly hotels and condos. Up ahead is another great view of Lake Charlevoix. This is the Charlevoix Depot Museum. There's not a railroad here anymore, but there used to be, and instead of having the old train depot rot away like many other small towns allow, Charlevoix transformed it into a nice museum. It overlooks the lake too, so that's nice. Now it's on to Patosky, which is about 17 miles north.
First thing in the morning, before your feet touch the floor, you count back all your blessings to the day you were born. And the sunlight is pouring through the side of my eye. Oh, this all feels wonderful. Wake up, my darling. The sky is blushing in ceremony to visions of glory. No one can tell me my fortune, 'cause I'm fortunate enough. You can call me out, though, call out all of my bluffs. First thing in the morning, before your feet touch the floor, oh, you can see the glory, how it's spilling through the door. Wake up, my darling. The sky is blushing in ceremony to visions of glory. Feel so one wonderful heaven awaits. One wonderful heaven awaits. One wonderful heaven awaits. It feels so free. It feels so free. It feels so free. It feels so free. It feels so free.
As we turn left here, you can see why so many people love coming to Petoskey. The water that you see is that of the Little Traverse Bay. By the way, this area of Petoskey has a couple of great golf courses that overlook the Little Traverse Bay. If golfing is your thing, Michigan is a great state for golf. The only thing holding it back from most golf magazines ranking it within the top 5 states for golf is the short season in which you're able to play. Emmett County, by the way, is home to an estimated 33,000 residents. The median household income here is $54,000 per year, and 34% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing is $178,000, and the public schools here perform above average. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight. Just as I did with Charlevoix, I will drive around the entire town of Patosky to give you a true glimpse of the town because that's what I do. On the left is the Greenwood Cemetery, and it has great views overlooking the Grand Traverse Bay. It's probably the most beautiful looking cemetery that I've ever come across. Currently, I'm heading towards the retail area of Patosky. If you've seen my Traverse City video, Patosky is very similar as most of the retail stores are located outside of the city limits, and it's actually in a neighboring township. On paper, you'll see that Patosky is home to 5,700 residents. Bear Creek Township, however, is home to an additional 6,700 residents, making the population of Patosky resemble that of a town that's home to 12,000 rather than just 5,700. So yes, even though we're technically not within the city limits of Petoskey, you could consider this to be the far southern area of Petoskey, and this is where you can find all of your traditional chain hotels, restaurants, and stores in the area. Straight ahead is the McLaren Northern Michigan Hospital, which is the top employer in Petoskey. Just like Charlevoix, however, Petoskey's economy is largely dependent on tourism. This is the main street for downtown Patosky, and I don't head through downtown quite yet, however, as first I'm checking out the eastern side of town after nearly going over the entire western side of town. The name Petoskey comes from the language of the Ottawa people, Petoskey spelled with a D and not like the capital of Canada. In the Ottawa language, Petoskey means where the light shines through the clouds. Petoskey used to be known as Little Traverse, getting its name from the name of the bay that the village was located off of. Religious groups made their way through here in the mid-1800s, groups such as Mormons, Jesuits, Catholics, and Presbyterians. Just like Charlevoix, Petoskey early on was heavily reliant on the lumber industry, and today obviously it's known as a hot tourist destination and a popular weekend getaway spot. The area is largely known for being the only spot in the world to find a common type of stone called a Petoskey Stone, and we'll get into that at the end of the video when we're at Petoskey State Park. The U.S. Census data website states that the median value of owner-occupied housing units in Patosky is worth $178,000. That's below the national average of $210,000, but that's more than what you'll see in other areas of Michigan. That's mostly because of the beauty of this area, and if you want to live off of the water, well, that's going to cost you about $1 million. After zigzagging through the town's east side, I've finally made my way to Northern Central Michigan College. It's a public community college and enrolls around 2,300 students. Alright, now it's finally time to head towards downtown and see what's poppin'. This is Petoskey High School and Middle School, by the way. The high school athletic teams go by the Northmen. The Petoskey Public Schools are ranked amongst some of the best in this area of Michigan. When it comes to notable people from Petoskey, there's a couple of interesting folks. Herb Orvis, who played defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Colts back in the 1970s and 80s, is from here. He's also in the College Football Hall of Fame for his time at the University of Colorado. Hal Smith, who played Otis Campbell on the classic Andy Griffith Show, is from here. Also from here is Alan Hewitt, who's done work with the bands of the Moody Blues and Earth, Wind and Fire. Nice streetscape as we enter the Petoskey city limits from the far east side. We'll be in downtown in no time. And just like Charlevoix, you can see that Patosky is full of activity and there's not a single vacant storefront. There's plenty of gimmicky shops and restaurants for the abundance of tourists that this area sees. Now it's on to Petoskey State Park. This is the unincorporated community of Bayview. It's not technically Petoskey, but everyone here does have a Petoskey address. If you've seen my video on the Tunnel of Trees Scenic Drive, this footage might look very familiar to you. And here is the beautiful Petoskey State Park. It offers a beach with a nice view of the Little Traverse Bay. Going back to what I was saying earlier though, a major attraction to this area is the Petoskey Stone, as this is the only area in the world where you can find one. Attached is a photo of the Petoskey Stone. They were formed by the movements of glaciers thousands of years ago, being carved away from layers of bedrock. The coral that forms on the stones is the same coral that's present amongst other fossil records from prehistoric times in a region that spans all the way from Iowa to New York. These fossil records are also found in other locations in Europe and Asia, interestingly enough. With that said, I do end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the other featured playlists on my channel. Videos on places similar to Charlevoix and Petoskey can be found on my Great Lakes playlist, my Tourist Town playlist, my Michigan playlist, or on my USA Small Town playlist. Also, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts listed below. We'll see you next time. Peace!